Hello and welcome to a very special Rock Sound podcast. We hope you're having a lovely Christmas break. I'm Will Cross, Junior Editor at the magazine, as always. And joining me as always, Mr. Jack Rogers.
Hello, Will.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right, yeah. It's feeling suitably festive.
Lovely stuff. It's a very, very special podcast because today we have a very special Christmas co-host, and it is none other than Bonnie Fraser of Stand Atlantic fame. How are you?
Christmas bonbon.
Yeah.
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Yeah, thank you
Yay.
for coming on.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolute pleasure. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of chat with Bonnie about the band's year and like what's going on with that. So general kind of interview type stuff. And then we're going to throw it over to Bonnie completely and we are going to discuss her fave album of 2017, her top 3 songs of 2017 and the best show that she saw in 2017 as well. So yeah, should be good.
No pressure.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
quivering.
Yeah.
Is there any pressure? Are you feeling relaxed, feeling good?
I'm fine. It's good. I'm fine.
Cool. So so this year's been pretty crazy, right? Like total whirlwind. Stand Atlantic have been, stealing hearts across the globe. How's it felt? Like, what's been the most insane moment?
There's been a lot. I think every day we're just kind of like, how is this happening? Like, I don't understand. But it's really cool. I think one of the major things that happened that we were all just kind of like, whoa, was when we got the Newfound Glory tour in Australia. That was something we pushed for, which I don't even think we had the song out at that point, like when we were trying to get it or whatever. And then it was something that we were just like, oh, it'd be cool to get that, like, haha. And then next minute we get an actual email that's like, yeah, you got the Newfound Glory tour. We're just
No
like,
way.
oh shit. Now we got to learn how to play.
I love how that's kind of like, because when things are just in like email form, where it's just like, it's a few words and to them it's like no big deal.
I know.
But when you like, if you're in public reading it on your phone, you're like,
Good thing I was at home, but
fist pumping it.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, like I saw, your tweets when you were doing that tour, and like, I mean, that looked like crazy stuff. Like, how were the shows themselves?
Really cool. Like, I don't think we expected to get the response that we did, because with anniversary tours, like, you don't really know how, like, being a support band, you don't really know how it's going to go, because most of the people are there to see, like, for the nostalgia. You're right. Most of the people are there for the nostalgia of the whole thing. So the fact that we actually sold merch and like people were like really into it and singing our songs back was like absolutely mind blowing for us. So yeah,
amazing stuff. Cool. Jack,
it's my turn now. Well, let's say that because in terms of actually release, Sidewinding's been out for 3 months now. From September, but you've been sitting with those songs for a lot longer.
Yeah. And
from when you've written them, even like from the start of the year, how have your feelings towards those songs changed now that like they belong to like everyone else as well?
It's weird when you're holding on to them and no one else has really heard them. It's kind of like, it's really weird, and like you just want to get them out, obviously. And then once they're out, you're kind of like, oh, it's like a breath of fresh air. And like when people accept it, obviously, if you get hated, then that's shit. But like, so yeah, once like everyone else has them, it's kind of like, all right, I think we're ready to kind of start doing new music kind of thing, and like keep writing and focusing on the next thing to come, which, So
how have you,
really cool.
like, in terms of playing them, or like when, like, how you feel about playing them live changed? Like, if different ones like appeared as like favourites, like, do you still feel the same way that you did when you wrote them as you do now? Yeah,
I think so. In terms of like playing them live, when we did the Newfound Glory tour, the EP wasn't even out, so no one had really heard anything. And since the EP's been out, we've only really played like 2 shows and then this Rome tour. So I think it's hard to know, like hard to gauge like how. Sorry, I totally forgot what I was saying.
No. Like, don't worry, this could be edited. So just you take time.
Oh yeah, we're not broadcasting live.
It's
to
not live. Yeah.
No, I know as well. I do. Oh crap! What was it? Oh yeah, so like the reception is weird. We played like a headline show recently in Sydney. And we didn't expect to get the turnout we did. Like everything just kind of snowballed, and people were singing our songs back to us like the whole EP.
Wow.
So that was like super special.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I remember distinctly saying, like, for the first times that we heard it, I was like, when Chemicals comes on, and like I just go, music doesn't get better than this. Like I remember sitting at a desk just going, yeah, this is as good as it gets. So
True
like,
story,
so I can imagine it's very much a feeling of like when, like, do you even listen back to your own music very much? Like,
not really.
Yeah.
I know when we had the demos and stuff, we were kind of listening to it a lot to kind of think about what we can change, like what can we make better, all that kind of thing. But once we kind of got it out there and everyone else had heard, you just kind of sit back and you're just like sick, but you don't listen to it.
Put your feet up.
Yeah.
Listen to one of a million other bands.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, that leads in really nicely to my next question.
Okay.
New music, debut album, or
Yes.
maybe what's the plan?
I don't know yet. We're just always writing, so that's all I can really say. So we're always writing, and an album's always like been something you want to do as a band, as scary as it is. Like, yeah.
Are you excited about it? Does it feel like all the fire off the EP? There must be so much fire in the belly.
Kind of. It's kind of like people have responded so well to this EP and more than we had ever expected. So we're kind of like, oh, the bar's really high now. Like, we've got to top this. Come on. But the songs we've written so far, like, I think we're really happy with. So hopefully the next kind of thing, the next step is interesting and good and better.
My final question, because I mean, like, it's been a big year in music as well, but it's been a big year on the internet as well. So I'd like to know what your favourite meme of 2017 is.
Oh, God damn it. I liked the elf on the shelf. Elf on the shit.
Elf on the Shelf.
Elf on the Shelf, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was a good one. You've really thrown me on the spot
Oh,
here.
I know.
Sorry, we didn't brief these. Sorry.
But I was going to say, it's like...
You can't beat the classic.
Oh, yeah, mate, that's made a big old comeback now.
I don't know how I could explain what that was, but basically I get to punch both of them now.
Yeah, we both definitely will. So, yeah.
I'd say Elf on the Shelf was, like, I was up there, like, we did ones where it was Austin Knight with a kite, and Pete went on the fence.
Yeah, I wanted to do one when the Rome album dropped, the Home by Rome. Except Elf on the Shelf was a little old at that point, and I was like, oh, can't do it.
It's like you don't want to be like, because people remember that.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, they'll go, yeah, see Bonnie, she's like a month late on this. Like, We'll bring that up next time you see it.
Amazing stuff. So Bonnie, right, we're giving this over to you now. Your album of 2017.
DJ Khaled.
What? Whoa!
No.
I thought it was a massive curveball coming then. Oh wow, okay.
No. I want to give it to Grayscale because
shout.
You know, like up and coming and like, well, yeah, they're pretty big now, but like, it was a really good album. It surprised me. Like I hadn't really listened to them before, and then I listened to this album and I was like, oh damn, like it was sick.
I remember when they signed to Fearless and they just put Atlantic out.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is mad.
It's so good.
Like I think that's up there with my song of the year.
Yeah.
Just like from the boop boop boop. And I was just like it's because it's like I didn't know pop punk could do this.
Yeah, it can, Jack.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's I think that's my number 4 of the year.
Oh.
I think so.
It's a banger.
Sassy.
But yeah, what's your favourite song on it?
I do like Atlantic. I'm trash for the singles, man.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. Like, I'm just like, oh, they're single for a reason. I love it. Like, I love it. It's good.
Did you hear that song when it dropped ahead of the album? Like, did you go, oh my god, who are these guys? And like, no. Okay.
I think Spotify recommended me the whole shebang, and I listened to like one song. I'm pretty sure Atlantic was like the first song I heard of them.
Yeah.
And then I listened to the rest of the album, and I was like, oh yeah. It was just like the proto was so good, like the production and everything was just so good about it. It was really refreshing. I thought the sound was like a little bit different. It was cool.
Definitely. Like, I mean, in terms of listeners who might not have heard of Grayscale and that sort of thing, like, how would you describe them?
Heartfelt pop punk, but also don't hate me or anything, but like I get a little tinge of like Mayday Parade in there. Like I don't know if it's just his vocals or something, but like
why would
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Blasphemy.
I don't know. I love Mayday Parade. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like I don't know. I just thought maybe that was like left of field, but I guess not. So yeah.
I think in a big way, because, you know, like, Mayday have been doing the like, 10-year thing.
Yeah.
Like, people are coming back to that, like, early 2007 sound, and like, but doing it really well.
Yeah.
So in the same way that, like, Gospel Youth, you know, them do it where it's like, and Sleep on It.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Where it's like, I think a lot of bands are kind of like going, you know what, that was a really good time.
Yeah.
And let's make it huge again. Let's make it bigger than it ever was.
Yeah, with like a modern like flair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Heartbreak never goes out of fashion.
Hell no.
That's very true. Yeah, what a band, what an album, total banger. So songs of 2017.
Okay, you have to go In Bloom, Neck Deep.
Oh,
if you don't,
yeah.
like, that was sick.
Let's go step by step. So In Bloom, what is it that grabbed you about the song?
It was different to what we'd heard from Neck Deep, in my opinion, and it just, that chorus is something else, my friend. Like, it was cool. And the vibe was just so different to like what they've done before, as I said. So
definitely. I mean, that's the thing. I remember we heard that album that it was brought in here, and like we heard it way early. And I remember hearing that song, and this was literally when it was like, you know, I don't think it was even the final like masters and that sort of thing. And I remember hearing that song, and it was just like, oh my god, like they have completely smashed this.
Up the bar.
It's like it felt at the moment, kind of like what you've just said. It felt at the moment the Neck Deep kind of took that big step, you know. And I think it kind of opens the door for where they could go next. as well.
I really hope they like continue that kind of sound. Like, I think that's sick.
Oh, big time.
I thought the video reminds me of Boys by Charlie XCX as well.
Yeah, which is a very good thing.
I'm big into the pink aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's a good aesthetic.
It is. Yeah, what a banger! What a band. Song 2.
Fake Happy, P More.
Oh yeah.
And that was before the video clip got released, and Hayley Williams was in that suit thing. Like, she has a good butt.
Yeah, she does. I saw someone going, like, they said 50% of me, Hayley Williams is such an inspiration, she's like breaking down these boundaries. 50% of me, damn, her butt's good.
Who said that?
I think it was Lucas from Holding Absence.
Oh, mate.
Man. But good video. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's again sort of like a bit like In Bloom, like talking curveballs and that sort of thing. Like,
yeah, that whole album was a curveball.
But yeah, it is. Yeah,
so good.
What did you think of the album when it came in? Because obviously you loved it straight away.
At first, I was like, and then I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it just threw me off so hard with that. Was Hard Times the first single? Yeah, that threw me off. But I was like, oh, this is actually so sick and like so catchy. And that whole album was sick. Fake Happy was like the song of the year though, because like it's just relatable. It's too relatable. It's so real.
I think that whole album, when it kind of hit you, it became way too real. Like the people go, oh god. It's like stay in bed for days on end.
Well, that's the thing. So, I mean, when Hard Times dropped, I mean, you couldn't, obviously you can tell now, but you couldn't necessarily tell that was going to be like the lyrical theme. But like you say, once you've actually kind of absorbed the album, it's like, bloody hell. Like, it's actually quite a hard listen. I find. It's like, I can't do it on repeat.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel you,
Yeah, good album, very good song. And number 3.
Recently released Trophy Eyes, Hurt.
Big shout.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was so good.
Yeah.
Like, again, just really different to like what they'd done previously. Like, you feel like they just keep upping the bar with like everything they release is so good. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just freaking sick.
It was from like
catchy as,
because I go back so many times to completely forgotten the name.
Chemical Miracle.
I keep going back to it. Yeah, I was like, I just went on.
John Floria.
Like even going like back to Chemical Miracle, which like I listened to probably more than most.
Oh yeah,
you know,
likewise.
That was like last year.
I wish it was released this year. It would have been the album of the year.
I wish it was released every year.
It'd
be so
can't
easy.
Beat it.
Yeah, that's so easy. Nothing's growing me like that album. Like across this year.
And then to go from like that, because it's kind of like some of the more tender moments of that. But like as a single, rather than like a song where like, oh, this is a bit too deep for us to play. Like, it's like, no, here's like us putting ourselves on the like all out. And it's going to be a song which everyone hears. More than, I'm very excited to see what that album.
Yeah,
will
I
be.
think I respect the fact that they took like quite a big risk in that song. I think because it was like quite different to like what they'd done previously, but it worked a lot. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it could actually sit on Chemical Miracle, like it's so
Yeah,
different. So
exactly.
I mean, how do you think it compares to Chemical Miracle?
I think it's just different. Like
Yeah.
you can't really. It definitely wouldn't fit on like Chemical Miracle in my opinion. But I really like in the bridge they like hint back to Chemical Miracle. I thought. But yeah, I don't know. It's just. It's good.
Yeah.
What else can you say?
it's a banger, yeah.
Will, just it's a good song.
Yeah,
Just
I know,
leave
it's-
me alone,
dissect-
man.
I'm
I just
sorry,
like it.
dissecting everything. Yeah, I mean, to go from that, I mean, like in terms of albums coming next year, like, I think there's a Trophy Eyes album coming. Like, is that up there for you in
Yeah.
terms of anticipated?
Definitely, 100%.
Do you guys know Trophy Eyes?
We've met we played with John Floriani has that like side project, Little Brother, and we played with him in like Australia somewhere. I forget where we played. Wollongong? Whatever. We're in the UK, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're looking at me like it's like...
Yeah, you know where it is, Joe.
Yeah.
You're in the car with us. How do you not know? So yeah, I think like met him kind of vaguely, but never really like hung out with him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So sorry.
Spend some stories on that. Not really.
He's a great guy.
Don't say I've heard some stories.
I didn't say I've heard some stories.
Whoa.
I'm expecting.
But us hanging out.
All right, I thought you said I've heard
Oh,
some
it's a
stories.
write-off. It's a write-off.
I thought you said, well, I've heard some stories.
Jesus.
This is anarchy. Like, amazing shouts. No. On a serious note, really total bangers. Like,
Cool.
so fave show of 2017.
Can I pick two?
Yeah,
Okay, thanks. Bending the rules for me. Appreciate it.
No worries.
It truly is.
Like so far, we haven't started the dates with Rome yet, so I'm sure there'll be cool ones then. But like Newfound Glory, I think the first show we played there, I think it was Adelaide. We just didn't know how like the crowd would respond, and it was just like above anything we'd ever thought. So that's up there, and like it was a huge room as well. And then our Sydney headline that we did recently, I think we all just were like, oh yeah, probably get like 20 people there, be pretty sick. And then like we had like over 100 people there, and it was just totally, I think we almost like got close to selling it out, and it wasn't even our like market audience or whatever. It was like 18 plus, so
Amazing.
we were absolutely stoked, and it was just such a fun vibe. The worst we've ever played, but but it was really fun, and people were into it.
What happened? Just nerves?
I don't even want to say, or people will never see us play.
Oh no!
No. We just like, I don't know. You know, you mess up like every now and again, and we're really hard on ourselves. But yeah, it was just really fun. It was chill.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
How about best show that you've seen?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, Trophy Eyes. I'm just a fangirl. Sorry. When we saw them in Sydney recently, they like sold out the Metro, and I almost cried during Daydreamer because I was like, I'm pretty sure it was like the last song or whatever, and I was just like, oh, it's so emotional. Like
Yeah.
it's so inspiring.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. So I think that, and they just put on like such a sick show. It was good.
I love a good gig cry.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
happens every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, was it proper emotional then? Like, was it proper?
Proper well emotion. Like
Proper well emotional.
it was.
Oh, cool. Well, let's talk Trophy Eyes a bit then, because I mean, you
Okay.
seem to be a big fan.
Here we go.
I mean, like, Chemical Miracle.
Yep.
Possibly in hindsight, maybe one of, if not the best album of 2016.
Yeah, for sure.
What is it about the album? We chatted about Her. What is
Yep.
it about that album that particularly grabs you?
First of all, it was such a jump from like what they'd done, and they'd like really progress in my opinion. And just the way they balanced that kind of their roots with like a new sound, and like added the pop melodies, man, it gets me every time. And like Joe Flow's lyrics are fucked up. Like they're so good.
Yeah.
I don't know how I think he's like one of my favorite lyricists, I would say. He's insane. So the lyrics and the melodies and just everything about that album was sick, and it was super unique.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They like created their own genre.
Yeah, they pretty much have.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because like, the first album is it Mendel Move On? Is that what?
Yeah.
The first song on that album, I remember thinking like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like they've really got something.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were still developing it. You know, and like Chemical Miracle came in, like you say, especially the lyrics. The lyrics on that song were like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my god, they've smashed this and like created their own genre, like you say. I mean, it doesn't sound anything else really.
And
like,
no one expected it at all.
No,
no way. We just expected like another like hardcore record. Oh, were they hardcore? Oh, I don't know what genre about.
Sort of, yeah.
I'd say so.
Okay, well let's just call it that.
Yeah.
I think everyone expected kind of just that, like a little bit of like progression or whatever, but they just kind of came out with something completely different, and I think that's what like grabbed everyone's attention.
I was so down for blast beats.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, Def Heaven.
Because it goes well heavy, that album in bits, doesn't it? It's like, whoa, is that out of nowhere?
I kind of don't like that at the moment because Potter, our bassist, is like, oh, we should put some blast beats in our songs. Fuck. It's going to happen, I reckon.
Happen?
Probably.
Oh,
He'll probably get his way. I'm a pushover.
I mean, Cradle of Filth cover. You might know this one.
Then I walk off and the boys just play.
Talk about your band. Like, I mean, in terms of you guys seem to, we've chatted about this before during interviews, but like you guys have a very eclectic taste, I think, as a trio. For sure. Who brings in what bit of the sound? Like, I mean, I know you love Black Bear and stuff like that.
Who brings in what? I think I definitely bring the pop in for sure. Like, you can't deny it. And then Potter will bring kind of the darker stuff to it. I know in like the new songs that we've got at the moment, like he's definitely bringing a lot more kind of like darker vibes or whatever. And he kind of keeps it in the punk realm more so than I do. And I think that works well because like we don't fight or anything like that, but we're kind of like, we are opinionated. I know I said I was a pushover before, but you know, I do care about what we do. So I think that kind of works well. Like you both like pushing so hard for your own thing and then you kind of meet in the middle at something really like kind of different and cool. So yeah.
Cool. So yeah, especially I mean, like in the Australian scene as well. I mean, obviously, you know, you guys have come up with a bunch of other bands. I've seen there's already such a legendary scene going on there. Like, does it feel like that? Being, you know, especially growing up within that, does it feel like a very sort of tangible scene, or
in Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's small. So, like the alternative scene or like pop punk scene in Australia is pretty small. So you kind of you get your name out there pretty quick. Like if you just play a couple like local shows or whatever. So yeah, definitely, and I think Trophy Eyes were they I think they were the first Australian band to be signed to Hopeless, or maybe not the first, but like whatever. Let's just ignore what I just said. Anyway, it was like the first time like a local band had been like signed to Hopeless, at least for this era. And so I think everybody just kind of like went, oh, like we can all kind of do this, and so it just makes you work like way harder. So yeah, I think. Yeah, it seems tangible in our scene to be able to like do something like overseas and like.
I think it is because people look at us in England like, oh, so jealous of that, but we're jealous of like a community like across the world, which is like so like because there's an intensity to like the pop punk and hardcore scenes over there. Like,
that's true.
That we probably don't appreciate that we've got here.
Right.
But from like where we're staying, like when we can look across the ocean and see like a pit. It just looks so passionate and like fulfilling and like a proper community. So.
I think I agree with that, and I think also being so far away from everything, like the bands that really want to do it, they'll work like 10 times as hard because like you're aware of like how hard you have to work obviously to get overseas, and like everything's very expensive, and because we're far and the visas and all that kind of thing. So I think the bands that do want to take it seriously take it very seriously in Australia. So we're lucky in that respect. We get good content. Quality.
All about the content.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, like, the thing is, it just feels, obviously, you know, you guys are, you know, one of, if not our favourites, but like there's, you know, it feels like every band coming up out of Australia at the moment, especially this year, it's just so sick, you know?
Smashing it.
Yeah. Big time. So is this your first, we were chatting about this before, but it's your first time outside of Australia into the UK and
me
Europe?
And Jono have been, like, outside of Australia, but Potter, our bassist, has never stepped foot on another country. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very special for him. So yeah,
You're excited about all the tours going on? And...
very, very much. I just really want to see Potter get that tattoo soon.
What is this? So explain about this. Yeah.
Okay, so you know in The Simpsons, right? You know how that episode where they go to Australia?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there's this scene. It's dumb. Anyway, there's this scene where Marge walks into a bar or something.
Is it for like, I'll have a coffee?
Oh no, not that.
Oh,
but that's
that
funny.
one. Yeah.
Legendary. Yeah. So, oh crap. Yeah. So some dude's like holding a frog or something, and then Marge is like, we call them bullfrogs or whatever. And then the Australian guy's like, oh, I would have called that a cheswazza. So Matt, our manager, odds, the game odds, Potter to get that tattooed on his leg, and he lost last night. But there was no tattoo parlors open at 8 p.m. What the heck's going on?
It's a Sunday.
So we have to do it today.
Oh,
yeah.
amazing. So by the time this goes out, because we're recording this a little bit in advance, it's going to have it.
He will have it, yeah.
Pictures on Twitter.
Okay. Well, I tweeted, like, stay tuned, and then it's been, like, 24 hours and nothing's happened. I'm like, oh, rip.
I mean, the more, like those moments on The Simpsons where you think of them randomly and start giggling in public.
Yes.
Like, Cheswazza is one of them. Where I just think,
Cheswazza. So bad. How else could you say I'm Australian with a tattoo that says Cheswazza?
$900 dues.
Yeah. There was some petition for like Australia to actually change our currency to dollary dues.
That's amazing.
I think it almost passed, but it didn't. Unfortunately, it would have been so much more of a fun country to come to. Yeah.
$2 dues.
Yeah. It would have just got shortened to dollars anyway, sadly.
So speaking of that, and obviously we've touched on it a little bit as well, Jack's question, but you guys are very good at the internet.
Are we?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're cracking up daily. That's something one of you guys
Oh my god,
done.
every time I make it to your like rock sound tweets of the week or whatever, I'm just like, oh, this is doesn't get better than this.
Yeah.
Like oh yeah, it's good. Sorry, so what was your actual
I was
question?
gonna say, like, so where's that come from? Have you just always enjoyed taking the piss out of the internet a bit and like
yeah, like you just take shit like way less serious. Like we just don't care. We're just like, this will be funny. Who cares? It's dumb as. Just be as dumb as possible, and then people will laugh.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's what people are always more endearing for. Is like, even though obviously you are just normal people, but like for a fan, they go, they're just like us. They laugh at memes. They like, do stupid shit.
I mean, that's
but it's like it's even though there isn't that barrier, you know, like it's like break down that fourth wall that people are just like, I can laugh at this with the band that I love the most.
Yeah, like we really don't want to come across as like, oh, we're too cool to like, but we have to put a full stop at the end of everything we post. Like, we're just like, who gives a frick? Like, just whatever. And like, we are real. Like, we just want to be real and like have fun. So that's all we want to do, and that's why we tweet the dumbest content you will ever see.
That's so cool. I mean, in terms of, I guess to wrap up, like in terms of 2017 as a whole, obviously we've touched on it being really, really crazy. Like, what's been? Can you pick one moment that's been like defining for the band?
For the band?
Yeah.
Oh. Give me like an hour.
Yeah. All the time you need.
I still think when we signed to Rude, it was like just a huge thing for us because like obviously like we wanted to get signed or signed for the EP or something like that. We wanted to release the EP on a label, and we didn't think at all it would happen because like it's an EP, like it just kind of wasn't something that is really done. So we were like, let's set the goal anyway, whatever. And then when it happens, like, it's just, you can't even believe it. Like, I don't know. And it was just such a turning point for all of us. Like, we were down in the dumps before our manager came along and before this EP was, like, written or whatever. We pretty much, like, almost broke up. Like, it was a sad time. And then, once we signed to Rude and got a manager and had this EP, everything was just like, oh, shit, like, we can do this. Like, it's good. So, yeah, I think it just goes to show, like, don't be afraid to set goals that you think are too high and like hustle. And just when things are like, when you feel like things are going to go absolutely bad and like it's the end, just hustle as hard as you possibly can. And yeah, it'll be worth it in the end. So yeah, that's what I think.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect place to end, Bonnie.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No
It's
worries.
been
Thank you for
fun.
having me.
Oh, no, pleasure.
fun.
You have fun, Jack?
Oh, it's been brilliant.
Yeah.
The mic only fell once.
Oh, maybe twice. I think twice. Yeah.
Almost again.
We have had, for listeners out there, we have had chaos with our equipment. Normally everything's so smooth, and then Stand Atlantic come in and everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
So,
Just razzing him.
yes,
Yep.
that's it. It's been fun, guys.
Right.
See you later.
Bye.
See
Merry
ya.
Christmas.
Bye. Love you.
Thanks.